So we should be starting in a minute. Thank you very much for joining us. Today is going to be a great day, and the session is going to be wonderful. Good morning, everybody. My name is Samuel Eyitayo, and I'm so happy to welcome you once again. We have a special session today on our employability webinar. We're looking at career opportunities in STEM. And the session today is going to be a special presentation. And so I would like to encourage everyone to please bring out your writing materials and make sure that you take a lot of notes. And not only that, prepare your questions. We have a speaker who is Joy. Will be appropriately introduced by Josephine. Folorunso Gaspar, who is American Spaces Program Coordinator, will be introducing Joy to us. Well, let me just say, Joy, how are you? Can you unmute yourself and say hi to our people all over the country?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Enugu, Uyo, everyone. I'm happy to be here, and I'm sure you're also excited to be at this session.
Thank you, Joy. So we go right ahead and ask Josephine to please read the bio.
Joy Nwaka. She's Project Controls Engineer, New Consulate Compound, NCC. Joy served as the Safety Coordinator and the Consulate from 2018 to 2023. She's currently the Project Controls Engineer for the Lagos NCC project. Her engineering career began as a management trainee with GlaxoSmithKline Pharmaceuticals, where she took on various roles in engineering and environmental health and safety. With over 14 years of cumulative experience in facilities management, occupational safety, residential safety, engineering maintenance, and risk management systems, Joy brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to her current role. She holds a bachelor's degree in electrical and electronics engineering from the University of Lagos and an international diploma in occupational health and safety from the UK National Examination Board in occupational safety and health. Currently, she is pursuing a master's in business administration at Heriot-Watt University, Scotland. Joy is a fellow of the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria and a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, demonstrating her commitment to professional excellence. She's also a dedicated wife and mother of 2 children, aged 15 and 10. Let us warmly welcome Engineer Joy Nwaka as she takes on our session this morning.
Put your hands together, everybody. Clap, 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 clap. Enugu, you are not clapping. Okay, so we're going to mute everybody, and when we finish this session, you can please Joy unmute yourself. Okay, so we'll then unmute everybody afterwards. Over to you, Joy.
Okay, so Josephine, if I can have the slides up. Or do you want me to share from my end? Let me see if I can share from my end.
You can share.
Okay. So, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
You have to play the
Yeah.
Good. We can see clearly. Thank you.
Okay. So, good morning once again. Good morning, everyone. And if you're watching from outside Nigeria by chance, good afternoon, good evening. I'm excited to be here, and I hope that you are, because today we're just going to be talking about the career opportunities in STEM. I've been introduced. My name is Joy, and I work as a project controls engineer in the US Consulate Lagos. So let's just jump right in. The objective of today, like I said, is just to empower and equip you with the tools, skills, and insights that will enhance your employability in the STEM field. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of English, a lot of grammar, but what are we talking about? What is employability? Employability is a set of achievements which includes skills, understanding, and personal attributes that makes graduates more likely to gain employment and be successful in their chosen occupations. This to benefit the graduates, the workforce, and the economy at large. In simple terms, it means the quality of being suitable for paid work. So now, what would the qualities be that will make you suitable for paid work in the field of STEM? What is STEM? STEM is just an acronym. I know a lot of people have heard STEM, but you may not have really dug deep into what it is. So it's just an acronym to describe science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Science, of course, is you study the world and you make observations, you experiment, and technology helps us to use those knowledge from the scientific experiments and put them into practical use. Engineering is about designing and building, maintenance of structures and machines, and also systems that use these scientific principles. And the last but not the least, mathematics, which many students wonder, why do we even study mathematics? Mathematics helps us to understand numbers, patterns, and this helps us to solve real life problems. Okay. Before we move on, I would like to ask, did you know that your smartphone, the average smartphone that we use today, has more computing power than the computers that were used to land the first humans on the moon? Think about it. An iPhone can be used to guide about 120 million Apollo-era spacecrafts to the moon, all at the same time. In the past, the Apollo-era computers used to be a whole room full of gadgets. And then look at what we have in our hands now. Have we ever thought about the power of the iPhones or the smartphones that we all use today? And if we've thought about it, to what use are we putting it into? Is it just social media, or what are we using our smartphones for? The interesting thing about STEM is one idea from one person can actually change the whole world. Neil Armstrong, one of the NASA astronauts, the first one to actually step down and step on the moon itself. As he was stepping down, he says, this is one small step for a man, but it's actually a giant leap for mankind. Imagine the feeling of when humans were actually able to land on the moon. And this was just as a result of people coming up with innovations, ideas, and putting it all together to achieve one mission that mankind had always dreamed about. This is just to break it down, put it in perspective. Processor speed of the computers used then was just in megahertz. Meanwhile, our modern smartphones is in gigahertz, the smartphones that we all have and take for granted. This is over 200,000% improvement. The RAM is 2,000,000% improvement over what we had for the computer that landed man on the moon. The storage space is also in hundreds of millions improvements. Not to talk about the weight. The Apollo computer then, processor weighed about 32 kg. But what's the weight of the iPhone we have now? So this is just to let us see how STEM is evolving and making lives easier. So I know a lot of people say, oh, science, why STEM? And I would say, why not STEM? STEM is actually what is helping the world to evolve and adapt. The world needs innovators. STEM professionals solve real-world problems, from biotechnology to genetics to automation to the auto world to aircraft maintenance, everything you can think of. It's all revolving around the world of STEM. Why not STEM? The job opportunities in the STEM field are in high demand, and this spans across various industries, AI, machine learning, several of them. And these jobs also have attractive salaries, very, very competitive pay and benefits. And in the world of STEM, you have an opportunity to make an impact, contribute to advancements in technology, health, environment, and a lot more. Imagine the team of engineers, the team of scientists and technologists that actually brought about the landing of man on the moon. Imagine the kind of self-respect and self-contentment that they will feel by achieving that. Now, let's just go on. We talk about STEM. What are these fields in the STEM world? There are a lot of STEM fields that are actually trending right now. If you go on your phone and you just Google what are the trending fields in STEM, trending careers, it will just list it to you. I am an engineer, and I always tell people, make use of the technology we have. Let me stop right here and just give you a little story. Sometime late last year, I was in a conference, an engineering conference. So this conference had the people that we know are engineers in the country. And there was a time where we asked if someone had any concerns after they had read the minutes from the last year's meeting. And an engineer stood up and said, oh, we used to have a brochure, a printed brochure that we could take home at the end of each conference. And why is this year's conference different? And the response they got, I'm sure you would know, the theme of the conference was about sustainability and renewable energy. And we asked him, do you not think that you're contradicting yourself? We are engineers, we are the custodians of technology, and we must accept it. If we have sent out things by email, we don't have to print it. So the technology has helped us to do things simpler and better ways, and we must embrace it if we must adapt to the changing world. So I'll move on with exploring STEM fields. There is artificial intelligence and machine learning. Of course, everybody in the world right now has heard about AI, even if you don't know what exactly it does. But it is trending. If you are an AI research scientist or a data scientist, you will be top on the labor market. There's biotechnology. This has to do, and genomics, this has to do with gene modification, and not just human genes. There are scientists that have studied how particular genes in some plants can actually be more productive, and it gives the farmers higher yield, and a lot more. There's sustainable energy and environmental science, which is helping us to make our environment cleaner. And they have fields like renewable energy engineer. You can be an environmental scientist. And there's also cybersecurity field. You can be a cybersecurity analyst and an ethical hacker. Mind the word ethical. You could also go into robotics and automation. You could do healthcare technology, telemedicine, quantum computing, augmented reality, and virtual reality. I know a lot of people know augmented virtual reality to have to do with games, but do you know that virtual reality has actually helped in the field of training? So there are some kind of trainings, for example, the people that are into the emergency world, like firefighters or nurses in terms of first aid, the virtual reality has actually helped the world to simulate training environments without actually putting people in the actual danger of putting out a real fire. So these things Even though we know more of them in terms of social media, and then we just use them for leisure, it also is helping reshape the world. How do you get started? I know I've said a lot of big things, a lot of big names, genomics, aeronautics, and all of that. But how do you get started? It simply starts with finding your passion. What do you love doing the most? For myself, I'm someone that is analytical. I've always loved mathematics. And that's part of the things that's guided me into being an engineer. While growing up, I wanted to be a pharmacist. But when I learned that I have to go through the medical classes up to a certain year, like year 4, before I then go branch out to pharmacy, I said no, because I don't like to see blood. I don't like to dissect animals and all of that. And so I looked at myself, even at a young age, I was doing it subconsciously, but I looked at the subjects. What subjects do I like? I like math, I like physics, I have to do English. And then I looked at it, and those were the courses I said, okay, what courses do I need to write these subjects for in JAM? And then I looked at it and said, oh, engineering. And then I streamlined it into electrical. And that's how I'm an electrical engineer today. So that's the point, a starting point. Even if you are a graduate, you find your passion, there are ways that you can diversify and use interdisciplinary learning to augment yourself. And we'll get onto that later. Also, you take online courses. There are many, many, many websites that do free courses online, even though they may not give you the certificates, but when you go in online, if you register, you can do some free courses. Start with those small courses in the field that you have identified that you want to go into. And you can also, they'll give you a certificate, but if it's the certification ones, you have to pay a little fee for it. Their websites, if you go online and Google free online courses, you would find a huge list. But some of the ones I have identified, Udemy, Coursera, edX, and Udacity. I've personally used Udemy and I've personally used Coursera. So yes, there are free courses that you can do. Build a support network. Connect. Many of us in the science field, we are usually not the outgoing type, but you have to make a conscious effort to connect with people, connect with your lecturers, connect with your teachers, find mentors, look for peers, look for groups that people have common interests, and connect with them. You never can say how much you'll be able to get from that. Never stop asking questions and take the initiative. You can start a project. If there's a competition, if there is a conference and they've asked for abstracts, put down what you know. Put down projects that you've done in the past. Another thing with science students is that we usually don't like to write. We do a lot of work, but to document it is a big hassle. And I want to put to every one of us here that have interest in science today that you have to document. You have to learn how to write. You have to brush up those skills of writing and also documenting what you know. Those things actually help you to become more employable in the long run. I already mentioned this before. You need to have critical thinking. You need to be creative. Imagine the people that were able to come up with landing man on the moon. They didn't do it by adding the same numbers that what they've been doing the same way. If you do things continuously the same way, then you're not going to be able to get something different. So you have to be creative, think outside the box, collaborate with people, communicate effectively, and also, like I said earlier, stay updated with new technologies and advancements. And that's the thing with STEM, it's moving every day. It's evolving every single day, and you must always be updated. Some other tools, like I mentioned before, online learning platforms. I cannot say this enough. Go online, you would find free courses. For starters, if you're starting, it's not advisable that you put in all your money into a course that you're not sure about. Take the basic ones that are free, and then that would help to spark your knowledge. It'll help to spark your interest in those areas. So I've listed some of the websites here: Coursera, edX, Udacity, Khan Academy, edX, Open Culture, Udemy, MIT. They offer courses that are free. And then platforms like DataCamp for data science and Code Academy also help for coding. Look for certifications. So there's something you can do if you know you want to go into a certain field. Say, for example, you have interest in AI. If you have interest in AI, go online, search for the kind of jobs that you dream about, and say vacancies for artificial intelligence expert, and look at it. Look at what they are requesting for. I used to do that when I was looking for a job. And even when I'm not looking for a job, I know what I want. My 5-10 year plan is my long-term plan. I know that in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years, I want to be so, and so. So for example, you want to be an AI expert by the next 5 years. Go online and check what are the requirements, what are companies looking for. So go online, check, definitely in all those vacancies they list out. For a safety person, you'll find them say, all must have international general certificates if you are in a UK-based country. And if you're in the US, you'll find them asking for CSP. So those are the things that you must know in your field. Know the certifications that are relevant to your field and look for the ones that industry recognize and make a clear, smart pathway to get those credentials and put them into your resume. Same thing with professional associations, join organizations. You can join local ones, like I'm an engineer, you join the Nigerian Society of Engineers, or if you're wherever you are, look for the ones that are easy for you to join. Even many of these associations have student membership. Don't wait till when you're now, yes, a full graduate. Even if you are in school, you can still join these professional associations. And these associations actually help when you're looking for mentors, when you're looking for networking events, conferences, they actually help for that. Networking tools, I already talked about networking, but use LinkedIn to build a professional network. Even as a student, you can have a LinkedIn profile. As a student, you can have a LinkedIn profile. You don't have to have 20, 30 years of experience before you get a LinkedIn profile. And I know there was a session on LinkedIn and how you can use it to make yourself more employable. You can look for that session and watch it. But this, I would like to say, is one big thing that every professional should leverage on. Attend meetings and also learn technical tools. You cannot be in the field of STEM and not know basic tools like Excel and AutoCAD if you are a designer and all of that. So these are some of the tools that if you are able to do 1, 2, 3, even any of the 3 on this slide, if you're able to get this and get it running, I assure you that you're going to be more marketable than most of your peers in the field. Yeah, this is just a repetition of what I've said before. Lifelong learning, you have to know what the trends are and how to keep it going. Adaptability, interdisciplinary skills. And this is actually for people that are not core science students. Even if you are an art student, you should know that there are things that you can learn or do that would help you look for a way to fit into the STEM field. For example, social media marketing. People are leveraging on data, on statistics to know where to get their traffic from. So those are the things that you can do even as an art student. You can do data analytics and it will improve you in your field. Also, soft skills, I've talked about that before, communication skills and all of that. Portfolio development also has to do with your LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn is a good way to document all the things that you have done, be it volunteerism, be it free job, be it IT, anything that you've done. Develop your portfolio and document it. Have it handy. And also, you can also do that in your CV. Mentorship. Like I said before, mentorship, if you join the professional associations, that's a good way to find great mentors. Resilience here, these things are not straightforward and that easy. There are times that you meet roadblocks. That doesn't mean you run away and then, why is there no like that? That doesn't mean that you'd stay away from the whatever it is you're pursuing. So if you are resilient, you'll be able to go back, focus on what your goal is, and then continue with it. So yes, there might be stumbling blocks, there might be roadblocks, but it doesn't mean that you stop at that point. You need to keep pushing. I talked about developing technical skills and taking online courses, learn coding, use STEM tools. I already talked about this before. Get hands-on experience. Please, for internship, youth service, and even after graduation, if you have opportunities to have internship, whether paid or little pay or unpaid, I would advise that you go into that. Look for opportunities to do internship and volunteer works in the field of STEM. This, you will not believe how much this actually goes to boost your profile. I already talked about building a portfolio to showcase your work and document your learning. Yes. Yes, that's true. You can get certifications even as an undergraduate. And many schools right now are actually mandating students to get certifications while they are in the university. So that by the time they are done with school, they already have those things handy. It exposes and it makes them more marketable than their peers. So many of us, when we went to university, we didn't have many of this information. And then we all felt, oh, we have to finish secondary school and then go to university. And then after university, we now start running, oh, what do I need? I need this, I need that, I need this. But there are some short courses that you can actually do while in school. That's a good point. Thank you very much. So while you're in school, you can always get those certifications. LinkedIn again, I cannot say this enough. Explore LinkedIn. Explore LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very, very great tool for us. You can actually, it can even help you to draft a CV with AI feature on LinkedIn. It's what you can get achieved with LinkedIn, you wouldn't believe. I'll just encourage you to go in there, sign up and explore. Explore, explore, explore. Join STEM communities, join professional organizations, find a mentor. I already talked about this before. Blending art with STEM. I mentioned this earlier. For those of us in the arts field, you can actually look for a way to blend what you do currently with STEM. STEM has to do with creativity. Art also has to do with creativity. We make the mistake of thinking that these two fields are far apart. No, what we're trying to do is to solve real life problems. So you can imagine in designing a game, in UX, UI design, designing websites, you need an artistic and creativity to be able to get something very good. So you can just look for a course that can enhance your knowledge to be able to get your STEM employability high up there. Okay. Like I said before, stay informed, read journals, look for blogs that are affiliated with STEM fields. If it's a safety blog, an engineering blog, there are several of them online. And with AI or with Google, all you need to do is just search blogs that have to do with so field that you are interested in. And all you need to do is read, and stay up to date. The world of STEM is evolving rapidly. As you saw from the first few slides I said about comparing the iPhone and the computers that were used in 1969, not too far away. So you can see how STEM is evolving. You have to keep yourself updated and keep yourself up to pace. And one of the ways you can do this is to attend workshops, conferences. You find out that in these conferences, the most recent technologies are what are being discussed, and how you can cash into those new developments and what your own contribution can be. So attending conferences would help you to know, okay, what do I bring to the table? What can I get out of this conference? It's also a great chance to network with professionals in the industry. And lastly, I'd just like to say, remember, the future is in your hands. With a passion for STEM, you have the power to create, innovate, and inspire. You have the power to change the world. So I'll charge you all, go out and make a difference. Thank you.
Can we put your hands together, everybody? Just spin over to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joy.
Thanks, Josephine. I hope I've been able to excite everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
So,
thank you very much. That's a great presentation. In fact, I'm thinking of changing to STEM right away.
It's not late. It's not late. You can change.
All right.
You can.
So we like to ask, do we have anyone that have a question in any of our spaces? You can raise your virtual hand. Joy is willing to answer all our questions. Okay, Calabar, can you unmute and ask your question?
Good morning, ma. Thank you so much. Amazing presentation. So, you talked about combining STEM and art, and we all know STEM is actually time consuming. Could you just give us at least 5 actions to combine with STEM, knowing that STEM is time consuming?
Okay. Thank you. So, like I said earlier, it all has to do with your area of interest. Firstly, how to get started. You have to identify what is your interest. Is my interest in marketing? So I had a colleague that was in marketing, and then she went back to do data analytics. And so she's not just marketing blindly, but she can analyze data of, demand, supply from different places. And it's the technologies we have these days has made it easier for us to do analysis of data, unlike before where we had only, everything was just manual Excel. Now we have very intelligent systems that can just go in and analyze big data for you and just give you what the trend is and just tell you, oh, this your product has been bought more from the youth, or it's more people of this demography. So that's one of the areas that you can actually use STEM. Remember, STEM involves science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Remember all those fields that I mentioned. Also, in the area of virtual reality, gaming. So some people may enjoy playing games and they don't want to actually go physically. Sometimes the design of websites also is brought up by people that have artistic creativity skills. And this is merged with the science person that actually does the coding and all of that. So sometimes when engineers come up with things, we have people in the art world that can also look at it. How does it feel? Is it acceptable? It's not just about designing things. how do people out there accept those things? So like a website, you can write all the code in the world and everything and develop a website. If it is not visually appealing to people, then you may not get the traffic that you're looking for. So those are just one of the few ways that you can merge arts with STEM. So you don't have to be an expert or a full engineer, but you can look for transferable skills that can help in the field of STEM. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we got to Oshogbo, Window on America, Oshogbo. Can you unmute and ask your question?
Thank you, Mark. My own question would be, since we're talking about STEM field, and as currently I'm having an admission to the UC Berkeley, in the area of development, energy, water, and environment, but the attached scholarship, which is MasterCard, is not available for everybody. So I would like, if I can get more information on funding, if education in US is having other funding opportunity, and just information assistance, because funding is critical for prospective students. So, and thank God we're talking about resilience, development field, and STEM field today. I really appreciate information on that.
Okay, Joy, Sammy Itayo will answer that question.
Yes, sure.
Right, thank you very much for your question from Oshogbo. Is Han Mesembe there? Mrs. Han Mesembe? All right. Well, every Wednesday, I will encourage you between 10 and 12. We have a session like this for Education USA. And that's why you can bring your questions to that platform. We also will answer questions relating to scholarships and funding and so on. So is Han there? If Han is there, show your face so that they can know, and then you can invite them. Okay, that's Han. Go ahead, just invite them for the Wednesday program. Over to you.
Yeah, inviting you for our Education USA General Orientation every Wednesday by 10 a.m. So during this session, you get the opportunity to, have information about how to apply to schools, how to search for scholarships based on your academic and leadership and other, skills that will be needed for you to have scholarships. We've had students that had scholarships from $91,000 to $50,000, and even in our midst, we have some of our graduate students who have attended this session and they are applying to schools in the US. And this has gone across all of American spaces across Nigeria. It's not just peculiar to one center. So it doesn't matter where you are seated or where you are located. You should just hook up to the session. And then after that, you become a member where we're going to recruit our cohort for this session, 2025 session. So you are invited. All right?
Thank you very much, Anne. So we go to Jigawa. Please unmute and ask your question.
I'm Hassan Ahmad by name from American Space USA. So I would like to make a statement before asking my question. They said initially I was told that salary is a drug they give us to forget our dreams, and they are trying to ask us to be smart, to choose whether to be a government worker or to be a self-dependent. And even though the richest man in Africa, in China, said, if you put bananas and money for monkey, the monkey will choose the bananas because they don't know that money can buy many bananas. In fact, if you offer work and for people. They will choose work before. Most people don't know that a business generates more money than a salary. One of the reasons why the
Sorry, can you move closer to your mic? Can you move closer to your mic so that we can hear you?
okay.
Go ahead, sir.
One of the reasons why poor are poor is because they are not trained to recognize business opportunity. They spend a lot of time in school, and what they learn in school is work for a salary instead of working for themselves. Profits are better than salaries because salaries can allow you to make a living, but profit can generate you a fortune. So I want to know the actual reason for making this statement. I think you might have more idea about this. Then, if this statement has to be going round, most especially for the youth that are growing up, has to be like they will be discouraging them to work for government and this and there's so many things will be happening. So I want to know the positive and negative effect for this reason.
Do you mean in relation to STEM?
Yeah.
Okay. Joy, over to you.
So if I got you correctly, I'm going to try to paraphrase your question. You are saying that us promoting employability among the youth is contradicting the fact that you can make more money being an entrepreneur. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'll answer this not even from a STEM field. I'll answer this as a person living in Nigeria, as a human being that wants to thrive. So the fact that you are employable doesn't mean that you have to do 7 to 4 or 8 to 5. If you go back to my initial definition, and when I did a summary, I said this just means that you qualify better for paid work. Now, even if you decide to go into entrepreneurship, there are several people in STEM that are entrepreneurs. Take, for example, these newer microfinance banks that are coming up that have no physical office. It is the field of STEM that help them to develop apps. And you would agree with me that whoever develops those apps is probably not working for anybody. Even if you are more employable, and let's even assume that you do a 7 to 4, being in the field of STEM, you can still do some side gigs. I'll give an example. I know somebody that is in 7 to 5, and the person goes to remote worker. I think I didn't mention that there are several online jobs you can also do. And what she does is just look for people that have assignments, issued assignments, and solve math problems for them. And she gets paid. These people are not even in Nigeria. So now, for you leveraging those online and remote jobs, you're leveraging on STEM. She's an engineer and she's solving math problems for pupils. She's teaching them. So it doesn't mean that when we say employability, it doesn't really mean that you have to work for someone. No, not everybody can be an employer. Not everybody will be an employee, but it's just the skills you need to make you more marketable. You can be a consultant. If you, as an architect, you may not even work under anybody. You just know the certifications you need to start up your own field, and then you can get clients, get jobs that you do. So the word employability doesn't narrow you down to being a worker. It can be anywhere. It just, what we're saying is, what are the qualities that you have that will make somebody more ready to pay for your service than the next person that is your peer? Whether it's working full-time under the person working part-time, it just has to be what qualities, what certifications, what experiences do you have? What are those things that you have that can make you have more value than your peers? I hope I answered your question.
Jigawa,
I hope I answered your question.
just wave. Okay, thank you. So we go to, I think he's satisfied.
Okay.
We go to Uyo window on America. Can you unmute and ask your question?
That's fine. Thanks. All right, so come forward a bit, come forward a bit, come forward a bit. All right, go on. Speak, look here. Look here, go on.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Miracle from USinNigeria, America. So my question is, you talked about science, technology, and also engineering in the STEAM. So please, I want to know the specific role, detail of mathematics in the STEAM. Your specific role in the STEAM.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
Are we good?
Go on.
Okay. So during my presentation, Miracle, if you listened, when I got to the point of mathematics, I actually paused and elaborated on it because I know the challenges. I have kids. I know how the average youth will not want to do math and how math is perceived as not how does this even apply to the real world? And I told you that, remember, what we're trying to do is solve real world problems. For example, I live in Lagos, and there's issue with traffic and transportation. If you take your statistics, if you take data, if you take figures like, okay, in Lagos, in this area, there's so number of buses, and that's why we are having traffic. What can we do? Can we increase the buses to bigger buses that can take more people so we have lesser cars on the road? Does that sound like a math word problem? So yes. You see that, yes, so you see that math is actually solving real life problems. So yes, mathematics is one of the key things that helps us solve real life problems. And we need to embrace it. We just need to embrace it. I hope I answered your question.
All right.
Thank you.
We have a second question, ma'am. All right.
Okay.
Good morning.
Your name?
My name is Michael Samuel. So we're talking about the social media aspect that you mentioned, LinkedIn and other social media platforms. And you mentioned someone being able to open these accounts and learning. Now, for LinkedIn, they are like platforms that you make money from or get jobs from. So the question there is, for someone who doesn't have any skill at all, what's the function of a LinkedIn account if the person doesn't have any skill at all? Because when you get into it, you find out there are many things on LinkedIn, and then you don't even have any skill. So how can this person navigate and use LinkedIn to use for advantage without that skill?
Okay. Okay.
That's it, my friend.
We got
yes, that's the question.
We got you. So I'll say it again. Don't be. Social media is it's as wide as the whole world. Don't get intimidated by what you see there. Most professors started like me and you. They started from somewhere, and your LinkedIn profile as a student, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked that there are people looking for students for internship. So it's not so much about you going there to compete with the big boys, so to say, or the professionals with high level of experience. It's just a way to document what you are currently. If you have finished secondary school, if you have gone to the university, even if it's as little as one internship, and I mentioned it here, try to look for volunteer, even volunteer work. Volunteer work. It's here in Nigeria that we don't value volunteer, or we don't know the value of volunteer work. Sometimes you have to do it. The first IT I did, I remember my dad telling me that it was like as if he was paying the company, because what I got wasn't even enough to transport me, but I needed that experience. So if you need to consciously build that profile on LinkedIn, start from where you are right now. If you have O levels, put it there. If you have short courses, there's some courses you can do in 30, some courses you can do in 30 minutes. Put it there. I have done a course on so. And what it does to you is, when you go in there, I myself, I go to LinkedIn, I surf around, I can just put safety professionals in US with so credential, and then it brings a lot of people, and then I start to look. Sometimes I now see that there are some certifications I never even knew about that might be easy to get. So signing into LinkedIn is free. It doesn't cost you anything. It will only expose you to what is happening in the real world. But if you don't have a log, if you don't have an account on it, you'll never know what's going to happen in there. So I still encourage you, no matter what you think, when you start putting down the things you have, like when you're putting up your CV, then you realize how much you even know, how much you have learned. If you know how to use Excel, put it in there. If you know how to use Microsoft Word, put it in there. And if you don't know any of these things, start now looking for how you can get those things into your CV. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you have one more question, man.
Okay.
Hello. No, we have to go to another place, please. We have other spaces. Ikeja, please, can you unmute and ask your question while Ibadan gets ready?
Just type it on the platform.
Good morning, Ma.
Just hold on. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, my name is Victor Yodeji, and I'm currently an undergraduate student of computer science at Covenant University. And I'd like to volunteer to teach mathematics, physics, and basic coding at any American corner in Lagos. I don't know if there are available volunteer roles for that at the moment.
Hold on.
Just I'll leave that to you to answer.
Yeah, we take that. Yeah.
If you really want to, there's one thing for you to be willing to share your ideas. Another thing you need to realize is that we also have a brand. So what you need to do is to approach the space. If you go on our website, we can put the link there for you. If you want Lekki, if you want American Center, if you want Surulere, or you want Ikeja, what we need to know is whether you are able to deliver. The delivery of that skill is very important, because in the past we've hosted people who said they would like to give back, and at the end of the day we discover that it's like an apprentice trying to teach an apprentice. You understand what I mean? We wouldn't want such a case where people will come and not be able to have value. You saw what we brought today. Joy is an accomplished engineer and is able to talk with confidence. And so not that we don't encourage that, but we need to know what you can deliver before we can allow you to use the platform. I hope that answers your question. Over to you, Josephine.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Ayodeji. So we go to American Corner Ibadan, then we'll go back to Calabar. Thank you. Ibadan, can you unmute and ask your question?
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Manuel.
Good morning.
My name is Manuel, and I want to ask about how an app student, because the speaker earlier asked, Mrs. Joy explained how that app students can also look at STEM skills such as data analysis and other ones that you mentioned as well. But my focus more is on data analysis. I have a friend of mine who is learning data analysis. The biggest challenge he has been having or he has been facing has been because each time he doesn't have the data to practice with. And because he doesn't have the data to practice with, he always go back to watch the same video he has actually watched like once or twice. Then he now got to a stage that he just frustrated, he does not want to learn anymore. How do you advise such a person? What should the person do going forward? Thank you.
So for me, I always like to tell people start with what you have. Like I mentioned in my presentation, don't as an art student, don't just go and say, I want to learn Java or one big name thing that probably you might struggle with the basics. Or don't go and get a certification that you know that to actually use it might not be very practicable. So I always tell people to start small and then grow big. Start small and then grow big. That's why I also propose and I suggest for you to use those online free learning platforms. Those free learning platforms, they will start with you with the basics. And then when you do it, they would always tell you, oh, to get certified in this, you pay this amount and you do this amount, you do this. Or they'll tell you this is the basic course, which is free. If you want to advance, then they would guide you into the next step. So I usually tell people, don't spend so much money getting a certification that at the end of the day, you may not even have the platform to use it. Start small. Start small. When you go to these remote job websites, you find out that there are some things that you can actually use what you have started with to resolve little problems around you. So for your friend, I'm not sure, and I cannot say in detail, I cannot advise him in detail because I don't have the full picture, but I can only talk generally to say, if you are going to go into STEM, if you want to start getting certifications, you want to start doing courses, start with the basics and then grow. Has your friend tried volunteering? My friend, I remember I mentioned about my friend that was a marketer that went into data analytics. The first job she did was actually consulting for a friend, a small business, and she was almost not paid anything. But she needed that to actually practice what she had learned. So that's where volunteering comes into play. You may not get paid that big in the immediate term, but look for small businesses that actually need your help. Remember, we're talking about solving real life problems. So that's what I would say to your friend. Maybe he can consider volunteering to a small business that actually needs his expertise. And then charge a little less. Before you know, once he does that, maybe 6 months, 1 year, he adds that to his portfolio. And then when he's talking to the next client, he's talking with confidence. I have done this before, and this was my results. Then you can now start charging. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. So we go to Calabar. Go ahead. You can unmute, Hannah.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Clearly, we can.
Okay. So I have 2 questions, short ones. So my first question is, you spoke about LinkedIn, and the truth is, like Miss or Mrs. Joy had mentioned, she said social media is vast, right? Is there a possibility that your network or the skill that you have, that your network is not on LinkedIn? Giving context to this question, someone like me who is interested in Web3, most of the people in Web3 are not on LinkedIn, but on X, which is Twitter, formerly Twitter. So is it possible that I can say I can do without LinkedIn and then focus on building in that on X instead, where I will most likely get noticed? That's the first part of the question. The second part of the question is, I think I joined a bit late, maybe I missed out on that part, but you did not mention anything about AI role, in building a career and in building the STEM skills. There has been a lot of releases of AI, and I think it most likely should be part of the conversation when you're talking about skill building, all of that sort. If you didn't mention it, why? And if you did, maybe you could just do a little recap for me. Thank you.
No, she did mention it. You came late.
Okay.
But it was top on the list for trending fields in STEM. Number one, AI and machine learning. So I mentioned it, and like I said, even my presentation, I would say I use AI for some of the things. I just got AI. What would my audience like to hear? My audience is, I describe my audience, and it gives me suggestions. But AI, like you said, AI is not very governed right now. There's a lot of things in there. So you have to be careful when you are using it for something formal and official. So you can use it just to get ideas. You can compare it with what you want to do. But AI, everybody in the world right now, even if you don't know what it means, you may not know it's artificial intelligence, but everybody knows AI right now. So of course, that is one of the training fields in STEM, and a career in that is one of the best that you can get if you have the opportunity. Your second question about LinkedIn versus X, social media is social media. Even on TikTok, people make money. What are we talking about? We're talking about qualities that can make you more in a position of being paid for work, right? So a lot of people, when there was something about banning TikTok, and a lot of people cried out, say that's my shop. That's where I sell. So at the end of the day, we're all trying to make a living, whether it's STEM or arts. So whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's X, if you found your niche in X or TikTok, Instagram, the streets of Instagram, people are making money. Some people don't even have physical stock. They just know someone that has a store. They take pictures and post it on Instagram. And instead of watching comedy and all that, they use it and market it, and they make the money. So by all means, please, if you have found where your niche lies, please explore it. Explore it. Thank you.
A quick one, please. I have dropped a link for the Education USA presentation, so you can check the chat. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So, Joy, we have a question on the chat box. I don't know if you would like to take that before we round off this morning. Someone said, I'm a cyber security professional with years of experience. Is there an American platform where I can apply to get a job or write an exam, maybe?
Well, I don't know why the word American platform. Job platforms are job platforms. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. And if you're interested in the American market space, all you need to do is to research what certifications do cybersecurity professionals. I'm not a cybersecurity professional, so I will not be able to advise you. But you just go online and say cybersecurity jobs in USA, and then you see the vacancies, and then you click, and you will see requirements must have maybe ACCA or whatever. Then you know, if I have to break into the American market, I need to get this certification. At least when you look at 4 or 5 vacancies, you will see what their requirements are. I know for sure that if I'm to get to do safety in America, then I must be BCSP certified. If I'm not CSP certified, I'm just wasting my time. So if I know I want to work in the US as a safety professional, I better have a roadmap on how I want to get CSP certified. So that's just it. There's no special platform for American jobs. If you ask me, it's an open world, especially for someone in cybersecurity. Why do you want to limit yourself? So please just do your research. Find out the certifications required for the area where you'd like to work and pursue it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With this, we have come to the end of this session. I would like to hand over to Samuel for further announcement and instructions. Thank you.
Can we put our hands together for Joy for a wonderful presentation today? Thank you very, very much. I was watching on the list of participants who joined us. It's between 40 and 41. And up till now, everybody is still here. That shows to me that people really, they were glued and that your session was well appreciated. So thank you once again. I know you had a proposal. We're still looking forward to your feedback. This is American Spaces, and we are here to engage, educate, empower Nigerians. So please always take advantage of this opportunity to join us from wherever you are. We promise you that you will have, your life will never be the same. On Wednesday, today's Monday, on Wednesday, we're having Education USA, and the link and so on is here already. So please check. Come to the American Space, or you join from home. You know, we gave you the opportunity. And let me tell you this, last year, a number of people got full funding for their PhD and other areas as well, other studies, those who are undergrad or postgrad. I want you to take advantage of this. We're also going to be mentioning other funding opportunities. Please join us. Following after that at 12:30 on Wednesday, we'll also be introducing to you e-Library USA. That's our own e-library you can have access to, and it's open to you. Once you are hooked up with us as a member, you have that opportunity to access our e-Library USA. So we'd like you to please join us also 12:30 on Wednesday, and I'll be leading that session. And please join our WhatsApp channel. Make sure you join us on our Facebook page and our Instagram account. We have information on all our programs. So with this, we want to once again thank our speaker for today, Joy. We're so happy that you're able to make it. Do you have a final shot, something to just say to them before you leave?
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited that I've been able to do this session, and I'm happy that you all are still here with me. And I want to believe that where you were 1 hour ago, it's not where you are right now. Whatever action it is you have noted down, please make sure you put it into action and don't just let it slip away. Remember, one idea from one person has the capacity to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also would like to thank Josephine for moderating the event. And with that, we want to come to the end of today's session. We want to say thank you, everyone, and bye-bye. See you on Wednesday. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you all for joining.
Bye.